Up next, we have Allison Pirret. Originally from Michigan, Allison has lived in Chicago for 9 years. By day, she works for Huron Consulting Group. After hours, Allison spends her time biking around Chicago and planning her next trip abroad. The 3 things she needs to survive are her passport, an LV bag, and a bike. Please welcome Allison.
Thanks. Hi, so I'm Allison, and tonight I'm going to teach you guys how to be a badass. I figured it out about 2 years ago when I was biking home and I had stopped at this light, and this guy crossing the street looked at me and yelled, "You got an Evel Knievel helmet on." The only thing I could think to say was, "It keeps my head warm." He was right, though. I looked absolutely crazy. It was 10 o'clock at night, it was in the middle of winter, and I'm biking up State Street in a ski helmet. But I hadn't really thought about it nor cared how I looked because I loved biking so much. And I hadn't realized how important it had become to my lifestyle. It made me feel like I was 10 years old. And there was never this huge moment where I decided I was going to be a biker. It just happened over a slow period of time. And it really started when I had a coworker who said, "Do you want to work together? Or do you want to bike together for the summer?" And I thought, I can do anything for 3 months. That's not a big deal. Let's try it. So we started to bike, and I found that I enjoyed it so much that by the time September came around, she said, "Let's just keep going to Thanksgiving." And then the next thing I knew, it was December, and she said, "I'm just going to keep biking through the winter." And I thought, great, if I quit now, I'm going to end up looking like a punk. So I stuck with it. I made it through the winter, and then by the springtime, I was hooked. I went out and I bought a second bike. I joined a bike club. And then the next thing I knew, the spandex was taking up more room in my closet than my handbags. And throughout the whole time, I was meeting people and trying things that I don't think I ever would have done on my own. And there was one day I remember being in an elevator and this woman looked at my helmet and said, "You're so brave to be biking in the city. I could never do that." And I never really thought of it as being brave. I was just doing something that I loved and I was having fun with. And I did it and got to that point because I did these really small, simple steps. I also had trouble with public speaking, and so small steps really helped me in that regard. Case in point, I started here. It was only up. But as an adult, I had to speak in public. At work, I got to give a toast at my best friend's wedding, and I wanted to do a good job. So I had to practice. I took public speaking classes, and certainly wasn't an overnight success, and something I'm still working on, and really why I'm standing up here tonight. But the one thing I want to ask of you is, what's that one thing for you? What have you always wanted to try? Have you, or think something in your personal and professional life that maybe you thought was out of reach or you didn't have time? Do you want to learn how to code, salsa dance? Maybe secretly you've always dreamed of being a ninja. How do you go from wanting to do something to taking that next step? And I found for me, it was easiest when they made these small little changes. It was a lot easier to commit to biking for 3 months than for a full year. And you've got to decide what's right for you and how you can proceed, because this isn't a race from point A to B, it's a journey. And so you need to be considerate of yourself and how best you work. And so when you start out, it's probably not going to be all that easy, but don't get discouraged. Stick with it. But also one thing I think is very important to keep in mind is it's going to be tough. So you need to be patient with yourself. And you're going to face struggles, and it probably won't always be easy. And there may even be a point when you curse that biker from Ignite, so I apologize in advance. But just take care of yourself and look at what you could possibly come out to in the end. So as you leave here tonight, I don't think I've made you all badasses, but I do hope that you've been inspired to try one new thing, and I hope that leads to something else, and then one morning you wake up and realize you really are a badass.